I'll go straight to the point, right? Now, actually, personal development is a lifelong course, right? And it's progressive. So I cannot say everything in this program. But in this one big program, one thing is certain. I'm just going to pinpoint certain things, at least the core, the basics we all need to know and have in order to have a better 2026, a productive 2026. Yes. So it's about personal development. It's personal development program. Now here's the question we'll be answering today. So everything we'll be doing today will be an attempt to answer this question. Okay, sorry, there seems to be a mistake here. It's where should I begin my personal development journey in 2026? Okay, that's the question. Where should I
Please,
begin my
sorry for the
okay?
interruption. I just want to ask. I hope this program is being recorded so that I can share the recording with us, please.
I will try my best to record it. I'll do
Please
so.
do. Please do.
In 2026, where should I begin? Um, it's not a one-way thing. However, right, in order for one not to be confused, there's quite a lot of things that you could do that you could start with. But I'm just going to share the basics with us in this program. Discovery. Self-discovery. I know this is not our first time sharing the word self-discovery. In simple terms, discovery is a process of understanding who you are, understanding yourself, understanding who you are. Get to know your weaknesses, get to know your habits, and the patterns in your life. Now, come to think about it, sometimes when we talk about self-improvement or personal development, one thing most of us actually fail to understand is that growth is the result of an organized system, right? Growth doesn't come by accident. Nobody grows by accident. So if you're to improve yourself, your overall personality, every aspect of your life, the spiritual aspect, the physical aspect, the mental and emotional aspect, the social aspect, the financial aspect, and every aspect that makes you you, if your goal is to improve yourself, then you must actually invest in knowing yourself, discovering yourself on a deeper level, right? So now let's forget about what you think you know about yourself. Forget about what other people have told you about yourself. Now you want to learn about yourself. You want to discover things about yourself. So self-discovery comes before self-improvement. You cannot improve, you cannot work on yourself. You can't even improve the things you haven't yet acknowledged in your life. Now, what are the various areas of self-discovery? The first one here is your strengths. What are your strengths? What you do well naturally, the things that come easily to you, the things you do confidently. When somebody wakes you up from sleep, you're able to deliver sharp without thinking twice about it. Most of us we're so much aware of our weaknesses. We know our weaknesses, everything. Oh, coach, I'm this, I'm that, I'm that. I'm very indisciplined. I procrastinate a lot. I'm not focused. I'm not this. I have financial problems. I have this. I have that. What are your strengths? When you look at yourself, what are the things that comes easily to you? The things that you do naturally. What are your strengths? Well, there's nobody here that will tell me, I'm not good anywhere. I don't have any strength. No, that's not the truth. You haven't taken time to really discover your strength. Maybe it's something that you're actually underestimating, right? And sometimes here's a problem we have. When you can do certain things easily, you think everybody can do it. When certain things come naturally for you or easily to you, you just assume that's nothing unique here. Everybody can do this. Say so. So I want you to become conscious of your strengths. Now, the second thing here is the weakness, your weaknesses. What are the weaknesses? The areas where you struggle or you need, okay? Not to shame yourself, but to know where do you want to improve. The things you don't like about yourself. They don't make you proud and you want to change them. What are they? Please, if you can hear me, just unmute yourself. Please, unmute yourself. Let me know if you can hear me.
I hear you, ma.
I hear you, ma'am.
Thank you. So you have thank you. It's okay. Thank you. Your habits. Your habits. Thank you. It's okay, fine. It's fine. Your habits are the small repeated actions you do every day. The things you do every day. Your habits could be good, they could be bad, positive or negative. You want to take note of them, right? Not just the bad habits. No. When I say habits and patterns, I'm not just talking about the bad habits, but the good habits you have and the bad habits you have. Write them down. The things you do repeatedly, consciously or unconsciously, they shape your life. So you want to write them down. Right? Yes. So this is where you want to focus on the area of self-discovery, right? Now, when I say patterns, what does pattern mean? Patterns are the repeated behaviors or reactions or even way of thinking that emerge over time from your habits or choices. Let's think about it. Just picture it like this. The habit is your action, okay? The pattern is what the actions or the behaviors say about you, right? Now, procrastination can be a habit, right? What's the pattern to procrastination? When you always procrastinate things, what pattern will you notice? You will notice the pattern of you avoiding tasks when you don't feel like, okay? You avoid tasks when they are boring. You avoid tasks when you sense or you perceive that they might be stressful. So avoidance can be a pattern there in the habit of procrastination, right? So I'm just trying to differentiate habit and pattern for you. Now, that's where you should start in your self-discovery journey. Here is an action plan, okay? Right? Like I said, I'm not going to tell you everything today. I cannot compress a 1 month or 2-3 months course in one day, right? I can't do that. So now here is an action plan, but I promise you this. I don't know how to execute it. I promise you this. If you take seriously everything I teach here, if you take seriously everything you hear here and you implement them, I promise you that your life will never remain the same. In fact, by 6 months into 2026, you would look back and say, I've really changed. A lot has changed about me, right? Now, I'm not here to speak grammar. I'm not here to teach you, speak professional jargons or teach you things that you might not understand, right? So I'm trying as much as possible to ensure that we carry everybody along, right? So that everybody will understand. It's understanding. Simplicity is what I'm actually aiming at. Now, here is an action plan. We just talked about self-discovery. What can you do from the little things you've heard me talked about so far? What exactly can you do? Take some time and reflect and use weaknesses, habits, and patterns you have noticed in your life over the past few years. Okay? Full stop. Then ask yourself, how can I improve these areas of my life? Which strength do I want to develop further? Let's say one of your strengths is communication. Like you communicate naturally and easily. Like you don't struggle to communicate. You don't have to read 2-3 books on communication in order for you to communicate effectively. If that's you, then communication is a strength for you, right? So you want to ask yourself, which strengths do I want to develop further? Is it my communication skills, right? Another strength that you might have, right? Yeah. So which weaknesses do I need or do I want to overcome? Which weaknesses do I want to overcome? and which habits do I need to change? Okay, that's the action plan. So when you write this down, don't just write it down, right? You want to answer the questions. What are your strengths? Write it down. What are your weaknesses? Write it down. Your patterns, the patterns you notice in your life. Listen, patterns can actually be positive or negative pattern. If you're the type who always overthinking can be a pattern. You want to notice these things in your life, right? You always overthink, you're always scared, you're always this, you're always that. You find yourself avoiding certain things. That's a pattern. You want to notice it, right? Remember, the essence of self-discovery is that you cannot change what you are not aware of. You cannot improve what you are not even aware of, right? So self-discovery is going to help you bring all of these things to the surface so that you become conscious of your strengths. You will become conscious of your weaknesses. Let's hurry up with this. Define your vision. What's vision? This vision is the summary of the life you want to live. It's that simple. Your vision is the summary of the life you want to live. Your vision is a clear picture of the future you want to create. Okay? I don't know if I have it here. Okay? I'm not sure if I do have the definition here. Okay? Here's the definition. Your vision is the summary of the life you want to live. Okay? Very simple. So every time you think about vision, it says, what's the summary of your life? The life you want to live, the person you want to become, the impact you want to make. That's what vision is about. So vision is a clear picture of the future you want to create based on your values, your skills, your strengths, your passion, and the impact you want to have. That's what vision is about. Okay? So having a clear picture of your future, even if it hasn't happened yet, that's what vision is about. So vision is saying, this is me, Grace. This is the kind of life I want to live. This is who I want to become. This is the impact I want to make. I have the strength, I have the skills, I have this passion, and I'm going to use all of these to create this impact. Do you understand? So that's what vision is about. Okay? So when we talk about vision, when you hear vision, there are certain questions that should come to your mind. Okay? Now, I want you can actually take a screenshot of this, right? Okay? This will help you, especially in defining your vision, just in case you haven't thought of it. The questions you must answer in defining your vision is, where am I going? One, who am I meant to be? Two, listen. I think it's important I say this, okay? This meeting specifically actually is curated for the participants that are currently undergoing their one month spiritual growth program. Okay, this meeting, this program originally is made for them, right? So we're going to see through the lens that will determine the lens through which we'll see all of this, consider everything today, right? Yes. So we'll now look at this number 2 question. I said, who am I meant to be? Not who I want to be. Who I want to be is good. We use that term a lot. We use that phrase a lot, sentence a lot in personal development, right? Who do you want to be? Who do you want to be? Who do you want to be? But listen, vision, where are you going? Who am I meant to be? What does that mean? It's not just about what I want or who I want to be, but it's travels down to my divine assignment, the reason for which I exist on it. So God did not actually send me here, Grace, to live like everyone. I'm not here to be like my mother or to be like my father or to be like you. That's not what I'm here to do. That's a divine assignment upon my life. When God created me, when God formed me, He had something in mind, right? I am not here to exist like every other person. I'm not here to live like animals. I'm not here to live like every other person. There's something about me that makes me unique. And that is my assignment. That is my purpose. So when you're drafting your vision, listen and listen, child of God, children of God. I'm speaking to the children of God here. You don't want to exempt this part from it. I know you have a lot of goals, you have everything you want to do, right? Ensure that the picture of who you are meant to be is clear enough, right? What impact have I been called to make? Not just the one I want to make, the one I've been called to make especially. And what purpose am I supposed to fulfill, right? That's it. So your vision, let's round this up. Your vision is the picture you have of your future. Your vision is the picture you have of your future. For you, listen, for you, the future might be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now. However, you want to step into 2026 with your vision in mind. You should approach 2026 knowing what you should live for. This gives you direction. It gives you a sense of responsibility. Does it make sense? I hope you understand. So this is my vision, X, Y, Z. It's a summary of who I want to be. It's a summary of where I'm headed, right? Say to yourself, in your room, nobody has to be there, just you and God. You and God and your paper or your book or your jotter, right? You say, this is my vision. I'm entering into 2026 with this vision, right? And so in 2026, I will focus. Listen, in 2026, listen, okay? This is where we connect the dots. This is where we connect the dots. So you say, in 2026, I will focus on building the mindset, the skills, the habits, the character, and on taking the small steps that move me closer to my vision. So this you see on your screen, this here, can you see? This here is what becomes your goal for 2026. So you see how we've tied the knot, we've connected the dots, okay, of our vision to our goals. So you see, that's how you go monthly, weekly, yearly. You're working on the same thing. Your goals are consistent. This is how we set consistent goals. Next year, you're not just working on one thing this year and tomorrow or next year you forget about it completely and all of that. Every day of your life, every day, every week, every month, every year you live on earth, right? Everything you do should be tying the knot, right? Connecting the dots of your vision to your goals. If you understand, please unmute yourself and let me know that you understand.
We understand you, ma'am.
Yes, yes, yes.
We understand, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. So we've linked your vision to your goals. Now let's move on to the next thing. Let's move on. Your goals. This. What's a goal? I'm going to answer the question. I don't want to waste our time. Very simple, just in case you're here and you find it difficult to keep heavy definition in mind. You don't have to. You're welcome to the right space, right? I don't like heavy definition as well. Okay? So what's a goal? A goal is something you decide to accomplish. A goal is something you decide to accomplish. Very simple. Okay? What you want to achieve within a specific frame of time or time frame. That's it. That's a good definition. Okay? That's a good definition. Just so you know, if somebody asks you, okay, what's a goal? A goal is something you decide to accomplish. But for the sake of this meeting, right, we're not using this definition. This is the standard definition, very simple, very standard. But let me show you another definition that we'll be working with today, so you don't confuse. Now read it. We've just talked about vision, and now we're tying it to our goal. What's a goal? A goal is your daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly method of arriving at the fulfillment of your vision. Do you understand? So that everything you do daily, everything you do weekly, everything you do monthly, yearly, they all bring you to the attainment or the fulfillment of your vision, so that you are not confused, so that tomorrow you're not setting goals that conflict each other, because your goals can actually conflict each other. I hope you understand. Good. So a goal is your yearly, daily, month. Yeah, let me simplify it. Your goal is the things that you actually plan to do daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly, right? So that you can achieve the overall picture, you understand, you have about your life. You understand? So I don't know if it's that simple. This is the lens through which I want you to see your goals every time you think about your goals. And this is why most of us easily get demotivated, right? Because somehow you set goals that actually do not connect the dots in your life. You said go to do this thing. How does this particular thing you're doing, you're committing yourself to, how does it actually impact your life, your overall personality or your overall life? So think about it. When you set goals that connect the dots, that are connected to each other, right? When you set goals that bring you closer to your vision, this alone gives you enough motivation to say no to certain things, enough motivation to make the right decision. Because every time you think about it, okay, I'm going to do this, not because of today. It might not benefit me today, but because it is adding up. It's a vote. It's a vote to my vision, right? Yes. Yes. So that's it. Now let's move on to goal setting. Why goals often fail? Why goals often fail? Coach, I set goals every time. I set goals every year. Weekly goals, monthly goals. I'm never able to achieve my goals. Why goals often fail? The first, listen, okay? Listen. Do not forget where we started, right? We're still under the step two, right? First, we said self-discovery, okay, where you should start from, okay, where you should start your personal development journey. The second one, we said your vision, right? Now, this is not the third one. The third one is coming soon. But under vision, we have to talk about goal. And under goal, we have to expose certain things about goal. You understand? I hope you understand. Now, why goals often fail? This question. At some point in my life, I had to ask myself this question as well. Why do goals often fail? Let's move on. Number one, what do you see there? Poor goal setting. Poor goal setting. I know most of us know this, at least many of us, right? Somehow you've stumbled upon a video on the internet teaching you how to set your goals. So poor goals setting. Poor goal setting. Goals fail because we don't set our goals clearly from the start. Okay? Yeah. There's a wrong way to set goals. And unfortunately, most of us do it the wrong way. Most of us write our goals as though they were mere wishes. Now consider these goals on your list. I want to make more sales in 2026. And this is what some of us write as goals. And this is what you will repeat again for 2026. And then we're expecting the same results. It doesn't happen like that. Okay, I want to make more sales in 2026. This sounds fantastic. It sounds like the person knows what they are talking about. But the truth is, it's vague. Nothing grows in vagueness. Nothing. Growth is organized. Growth is a product of clarity. Clarity plus effort. I want to win 50 souls for Christ. Good. That's fine. How do you want to do that? I want to focus more in 2026. What do you want to focus on? What will be your object of focus in 2026? Do you want to focus on everything? You're not clear enough, right? So these are actually examples of poorly written goals. Very, very, very poor. Now, if you do this, you don't want to do this again. Please stop it. Stop sabotaging yourself, right? Stop sabotaging your vision. There is nothing here to motivate you. There is really nothing here to motivate you. This is just mere wishes, right? Now let's move on quickly. How to set goals. How to set goals. Now, I'm going to teach you quickly how to set your goals, right? Using the SMART framework. S stands for specific. This is a framework, right? Every time you hear people say SMART goals, SMART goals, SMART goals. What does it mean? S stand for specific, M stand for measurable, A stand for achievable, R stand for relevant, and T stand for time bound. What does specific mean? Specificity, what does it mean? What does it mean for your goals to be specific? Now listen to me. Let's check this goal again. Let's check this again to understand what I'm talking about. Your goals should be clearly defined, okay? Nothing grows in bigness. We talked about it before, right? So don't just say, this is what I want to do. How do you want to do it? You want to lose weight? How do you want to lose weight? You want to read books in 2026? How many books do you want to read? You want to start a business in 2026? What kind of business do you want to start? And this is why we get confused, because by January 2026, you become really frustrated, right? Because you don't know. You start thinking, oh, what kind of business should I start? And then it will take you extra 6 months to start a business. And then when it gets to July, you will not tell yourself, okay, let me just wait till next year and all of that. No, you don't want to do that to yourself. Please stop sabotaging your vision. Be clear, be specific. That's what the S represents. Specificity, right? Being specific. Be clear about what you want. You want to make more profit in your business in 2026. How much more profit do you want to make? You want to lose weight? How many pounds do you want to lose? Clarity is a product of specificity. If you are not specific about what you want, you will be confused and you will lack clarity, right? So help yourself, okay? Specify what exactly you want. Don't just say, this is what I want. How do you want it? What color of it do you want? What range of it do you want? What sort of it do you want? What kind of it do you want? That's what it means to be specific. Now, the next one here is measurable. M represents measurable. Now, let's go back to the goal. Let's go back to this example goal. Now, if you think about it, what does measurability talk about? What does it actually mean? It means being able to track your progress. How would you know if you're making progress or being inconsistent? How would you know? Tell me. If you set a goal to do A, B, C, D, how would you even know if you're making progress? That's what measurability talks about. So you should set your goals in a way that by a certain period of time, you can look back and say, okay, I'm not doing well. Okay, my goal is to make, for example, my goal is to make, okay, let me use something everybody will understand. Not everyone is a business person here. My goal is to read 10 books. If my goal is to read 10 books in 2026, and by October, I haven't even read 3 books yet, is that progress?
No.
Am I making progress?
No.
That's not progress. Yes, that's not progress. But in a situation where you said, I want to read books in 2026, that's good enough because you did not specify how many books you want to read. You didn't specify how many books you want to read. So that's it. So you want to set your goals in such a way that you can measure it, right? If you say, I want to make 1 million naira in 3 weeks, and if by the first week you've not made 200,000 naira, what is that telling you? Come on, sit up. Just sit up. Sit up, sit up, sit up. You've not done anything at all, right? Yes?
Yeah.
Do you understand? Yes. So that's it. So you want to set your goals in such a way that will keep you on your toes. Every time you look at it, you say, okay, I want to lose 20 pounds, but this is almost half the year, but I've not even lost 5 pounds. It means I have to work harder, right? So that's what measurability is about. Okay, let's even talk about it. How do you even measure your goals? Simple ways to make your goals measurable. Okay, let me teach you this, right? You can include numbers, specify the amount, the percentage, the count, right? Yes, that's a way you can measure your goal, right? Specify, be really specific. You see how that specificity leads to measurability. You see how these things connect to each other. If you're not specific enough, then you cannot measure it. Number 2, define milestones. Break the goal into small steps. You want to break your goal into small steps. For example, I'm going to teach you that, but not now, maybe some other time. For example, okay, let me say this, the wise people, the smart people, I believe all of you are smart. You catch it, right? Now, here's the thing. Okay? This is it. Let's say, for example, I want to read 12 books. Okay, let's say, for example, I want to read 12 books in 2026, right? No, let me not use 12 books. Let's say I want to read 10 books in 2026, right? How do I break the goal into small steps? If I want to read 10 books in 2026, by the first quarter, my goal should be that I will read 3 books by the first quarter. Does it make sense? Yes. By the first quarter, 3 books by the first quarter, or maybe 2 books. It's okay, right? 2 books. How many quarters do we have? How many quarters do we have in the year? 3 quarters, right? 4 quarters. Yeah, 4 quarters in the year. So 2 times 4 is actually 8. So 3 books is actually okay, right? You want to read 3 books by the first quarter. Okay, so that way, when you get to January, February, March, and you've not read 3 books, let's say you've only read just 1 book, or 1 book and 5 chapters, you've not completed the second one, because you were able to break your goals into small steps. By March, you should be able to tell yourself, come on, I have failed for this first quarter, right? It means I need to sit up. I really need to sit up. I'm not doing well, right? I need to sit up. I need to, and then you strengthen your goal again, right? You might say, okay, fine. What I'm going to do in the next quarter, I'm going to read 4 books. I'm going to, however you want to do it. That's what you can do. What's the next one? Achievable, right? Achievable, right? We've talked about specificity. We've talked about measurability. Now let's talk about achievable, right? So you want to set goals that are achievable. You want to be realistic when setting your goals. Yes, you can actually, it's absolutely okay to challenge yourself. In fact, your goals should challenge you, but your goals should not break you. Do you understand me? Some of us were not sincere. We're not even true to ourselves. You understand? Your goals, the goals you set. Okay, the question is simple. The goals you want to set for 2026, do you have the capacity to achieve them? At least, do you even have 50% of the capacity it takes, the ability, the strength, the skills, and the resources? When I mean resources, both financial resources, human resources, and everything. Do you have what it takes? At least 50% of it. The other 50% you can actually make up for, right? When you develop yourself and work hard. But you have what it takes, 50% of what it takes to achieve your goals. You want to set goals. You really want to remember, right? You really want to do something that you can repeat over and over again, right? You don't want to set goals that breaks you. I don't want to dwell here, right? Ensure that whatever you're setting for yourself as your goal, make sure it's something that you can do. I'm not saying that it's something that is, I'm not saying you should set a goal that doesn't challenge you. Of course, it should challenge you, right? But it should not overstretch you to the point where you become frustrated. For example, if you haven't read, listen and listen clearly. If you haven't read 1 book in a month, do you think it's fair enough to yourself to set a goal to read 5 books in 1 month? I'm asking a question.
No, ma.
Good.
No, ma.
Good.
No, ma.
Now,
No, ma.
personally, I can read 3 to 4 books in a month, right? Personally, I can read 3 to 4. I'm not saying this for you to clap for me. There's a way I read my book, right? I don't read all the chapters. I don't do that. You understand? Especially when the book is from the same author. I don't have the time reading the same thing because some of these authors copy and paste. You're reading 1 book. So sometimes I might just buy a book because of 3 chapters, okay, that I feel I will benefit from. And then when I'm done reading the chapters, I'm done with the book. Other chapters might be something I've covered in other books. I don't want to sit down reading the same thing over and over again, right? Okay, so I have to be sincere here. You understand? Do you get me? So, but for a person who hasn't, since you left school, you've not picked a book to read, you won't be fair to yourself setting a goal to read 3 books in a month. You really can't do it. Now, you might, if you exercise your willpower enough, you might be able to do it, right? But the thing is, it's not about being able to do it. Will you like to try it again? There are certain challenges in the past that we took upon ourselves and we did them successfully. But if you ask us, we would say, come on, I would not like to do that thing again. I hope you understand what I'm talking about. So it's possible for you to do something, right? Should I say, you man up to do something, and then you're able to do it. But then deep down, this is not something I would even wish my enemy to do. Like, this is not something I would want to do again. That's not what you want. That's not what you want for yourself. So you want to set goals that you can achieve. Of course, your goals should stretch you, but it shouldn't break you. Like, it's a common saying, right? It's a common term. A common statement, right? Now let's move on to the next one. The next one is relevant. Relevant. What does it mean? How relevant is your goal to you? Okay, how is your goal connected to your overall vision? Go to relevant. How is your goal relevant to you? You should be able to tie your goal to your overall vision, right? You understand? You get? And here's the thing. You need to, relevance here talks about your why. Why do you want to read 12 books in 1 year? Why do you want to lose 10 pounds? Why do you want to start a business? Why do you want to do A? Why do you want to do B? Why do you want to do C? If your why is not strong enough, at some point when you lose motivation, because it's normal, you will lose motivation at some point. If your why is not strong enough, when you become demotivated, there will be nothing to push you. Because when you become demotivated, what pushes you further is your reason, your purpose for taking on that goal in the first place. So why do you want to do the things you want to do? The goals you want to set for yourself? Why? You want to lose weight? Why? Why do you want to do it? Why? So you see how you should be able to connect your goals. You should be able to connect the dots together so that you can say, I really want to lose weight for my health. I want to feel better, right? I want to feel better. I want to look younger. I want to feel, However, whatever reason, you understand, whatever be your reason, it should be strong enough to push you. Do you understand me? Do you get? Yeah. So I don't want to dwell there. Now, the next is time bound. Listen. This is where most of us make the mistake. Let's look at our goals again. Right? Let's look at our goals again. What does it mean for your goals to be timely or time bounded? I don't know if that's the right word to say. There should be an element of time in your goal. Here is the thing. For example, goal number, let's say goal number 5 or second to the last, I don't know which number. The second to the last goal says, I want to start a business. That's good. It sounds intelligent. But here's the question. When do you intend to implement? When do you intend to start the business fully? When do you intend to launch your business fully? Don't say, I want to start a business. I want to read books. When? At what point can you sit down and beat your chest and say, okay, at this point, today being the 30th of December, I have achieved the goals I set for myself last month, right? So you should be able to, there should be some element of time in your goals. How do you track? No time, nothing. Okay, I want to improve myself. Let's not even go there. Let me not even go there. I want to make more sales in 2026. How much sales you want to make? We talked about that. Then what's the time frame you're giving yourself? Listen, I need you to understand this, right? Why do you think people deliver better when they are under pressure? Nobody likes pressure, but I've noticed that people deliver quicker and faster when they're under pressure. It's because of time sensitivity. When the goal is time sensitive, you're always on your toes. There's some sort of pressure in your brain to push further, move further. So here's the thing, nobody will pressure you But you have to create that pressure in your head. So when you tell yourself, okay, I have only 1 month to read this book, I have only 1 month to read these 2 books, what do you do? That's it. I hope you understand. I really hope you understand what I'm teaching us this.
Yes, ma.
Let's move on.
Yes, ma.
Okay. Now here is an example of a smart goal. An example